I swore I really don't want to have to interrupt this beautiful music, but here we are with Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. Let's just listen to this little opening here and the beautiful music, which is one of the highlights of the game. It is a ridiculously pretty game, as will come apparent very shortly. Right. Now, I've actually just completed the game. I have finished it totally, so I'm just going to do a quick impressions. It's observatory up there. This is a game by the China Rooms, which did Dear Esther and Amnesia. Haven't played either of those games, but I've seen some playthroughs of Amnesia and it was thoroughly terrifying. This is not a thoroughly terrifying game. This is a game that is about exploration, it's about character, it's about story, and about atmosphere. Things that it does exceptionally well. It is also rather glorious to look at, as you'll see as we get down into the village. This is right at the beginning of the game. I have no idea who I am or why I'm here. I wander around the village at a sedate pace. You have a walking button and you have a slightly faster walking button, which is as fast as you can go in this game. If you're looking for running and gunning, if you're looking for shooting and killing, if you're looking for a game that drives pace at a breakneck speed, this is not the game for you. This is a game that will probably have about 5, maybe 6 hours of content if you take your time with it. It's a game that takes its merry time in uncovering itself, but the pacing, although slow, is brilliant and appropriate. And as hopefully you'll see as we go through the game, the voice acting is excellent, and I can guarantee you there are very few games that do characterization better. But let's go in here. You don't get very many button prompts. Here is your tutorial. You use 2 buttons. You use the X button, you use the R2 button, which you hold down to make you walk a little bit faster, and then everything else is done with the 6-axis controller, which you'll see in a moment. Right, say hello to this.
I'm going to continue to broadcast for as long as I am able. If I'm right, we should be able to pick up the signal right across the valley. The event has left markers. We don't understand it yet, but we're going to keep working to try and understand it. You can use them to find what you're looking for. The answers, they're all here. The answers are in the light.
So, the story unfolds in a number of ways. That's the first way it unfolds, either by clicking on radios, which you will hear, or clicking on telephones or radios that will tell bits of story. You can hear, don't know if you can. There's a phone ringing, which we'll discover in a minute. Bear in mind, I have actually played all the way through this game now, so I'm not going to give away any plot or anything. I just want you to show mechanically how it works and give you some of my impressions on why it is worthy of your time. We're just going to go over here. I'm going to hold down the R2 button. It takes a very long time for you to get any faster. Okay, this is set in 1984 in a place called Yorton, which is a fictional village, but in the Shire of Shropshire. Which is in the West Midlands of England. That is a real place, but Yorton is a fictional village.
This is a special announcement by the Emergency Measures Committee. Due to exceptional circumstances, radio and television in this area has been brought under the control of the EMC as per the Crisis Preparedness and Action Bill of 1982. Keep your radio and television on at all times. Stay indoors and avoid contact with other people. Do not attempt to telephone outside your local area. Do not panic and remain civil and calm. Stay tuned to this station for updates.
Okay, so as you wander around the village, you get little snippets of information from radios or from telephones, which tend to be plot related, and then you will also, as you'll see in a minute, come across other interactions, which I'll explain once we've seen 2 of the types, or the final types of interaction you will see. Let's go up here. So, the answer's in the light, the lady said in the original broadcast, and there's a bit of light. So, this is, I think, the last prompt you get. I am tilting the 6-axis and I have to use it to tune in these memories.
I'm trying to do my job. You two will be the only staff on site for this rotation. I'm just saying, if the main gate's power fails, then there's no way in or out of the observatory.
That's why there are backup generators. Jesus, why the hell are we even discussing this?
Just don't you come running to me if you get locked in.
If we get locked in, we won't be able to come running to you, will we? You let us worry about the clever stuff, and you can concentrate on sweeping up leaves and changing light bulbs. Happy? Now piss off.
So.
That was unnecessary. Just because you're angry with me doesn't mean you have to take it out on everyone else.
Kate, can we just talk about this?
No, Stephen, I'm done. I just want to get out of this place, and tonight is our best chance of doing that. You prep the arrays, I'm heading up to Tower 6.
Kate. I love you. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know that. Come on, let's get started.
Okay, so the voice acting universally is amazing. There's not a bum note in any of it, to be honest. Kate is an actor you might be familiar with. She was the voice of Marlene in The Last of Us. Merle, someone she's called, Merle Dandridge, I think. I haven't necessarily heard of any of the other voice actors. One of them played Corypheus in Dragon Age Inquisition. But the beauty of this is that there's plot interactions, and there are, here we go. So, here's this bundle of light. That's Jeremy. There are a number of chapters in this game, and each of them follows the path of a different character, so we uncover a little bit about each of these people as we go through the game. That's dead end. So a lot of the interactions are very mundane. I mean, one of the strengths of this game is the fact that it treats its characters in a very realistic way. These are people who live in a rural village in 1984 in the UK, and as a result they are ordinary people who say ordinary things at ordinary times. So some of the interactions, whoa, there's Jeremy, are very, very ordinary. As a result, you know, what it does is it gives the people who you come across, or the entities you come across, real depth. It lets you see them as people rather than just parts of the game. So when you begin to piece together what might be going on here in Yorton and its surrounding areas, the things that happen to these people become increasingly tragic and increasingly personal, because the voice acting, the scripting, the characterization is such that you begin to care about them. So let's listen to...
Who's that? Hello?
Kate, if you can hear this, you need to shut down the optical array. It's using the observatory as a conduit to reach us, and it's started spreading its range beyond the valley. Kate, we can't afford to let it do that. It's getting stronger. I'm going to call Clive back, and I'm going to force him to order the strike. I just don't see what other choice we have. God knows
Hello,
if
can you hear me? We need help.
Who are you? Jesus, get off the phone! Get off the phone! It's in the phone!
It's in the phone.
Now, I'm just going to go because I know there's another interaction over here. Now, the little balls of light are very good at leading you to the things that you want to talk about and you want to see. What I want to do, though, is perhaps rather... Do I have to tune into this one? I'm going to come back to that. Let's try and find one of the other types of interaction. Say I played this game already, so it doesn't bother me if I skip some bits. And really, I just want to give you an impression of how this works. But just have a look around. I mean, look at the pub. I want to have a pint there. I mean, find one of the... So, let's go over here. Jeremy in the background. Tuning in one. So The tuning in ones, these are plot points. I'm not going to tune into it now, but if you see these ones you actually have to wiggle the controller for, you have, I think, to unlock every single one of those in an area before you can finish that particular chapter off. The other bits, which are all incidental, are just, they're not filler as such, but they are extra plot points that don't necessarily drive things forward, but give you more information about the characters. Here we go.
The back fence, silly old bugger.
Well, loaves and fishes we can manage, but
Father
garden
Jeremy,
design is a little beyond.
might I have a word?
Mrs. Boyles, of course. Meg, will you excuse us, please?
See you back at Charlie's later. Cheerio, Wendy.
I was speaking to Barbara. She said there were some irregularities about Mary's morphine.
Good grief. Those are private medical records. Barbara should know better than to be discussing that sort of thing with you. If Dr. Wade finds out, he'll have no choice but to suspend her. Damn it, Wendy! Your brother is grieving. Mary was sick for a long time, and I'm glad it's over for her. Go and support Frank. He needs you now.
God knows what you did. He sees. I just break and overlook Mary's weakness, but you, a man of the cloth,
If you have an issue
you
with-
bring shame on this parish.
If you have an issue with me, I suggest you write to the Bishop of the Diocese. I have parishioners to attend to. Excuse me.
So these ones that auto-trigger are not things that advance the plot, but they add to your understanding of who and what the characters are. And I think it's important to explore and get as much detail on these characters as possible, because actually some of the stories are fascinating, some of them are heartbreaking. There's a couple, I mean there's one or two bits that seriously will break your heart, particularly one of the later chapters when you figure out exactly what's going on with one of the little balls of light you're looking at. But have a look at this. I mean, it is stunning. The attention to detail in every single part of this game is beguiling. They have created a world that is... Ooh, they have created a world that is believable, that is intricate, that is just beautiful to behold. I mean, this is what I mean. Come and have a look at what they've done here. Now, this is just one of the gardens. I know you can actually go into the house and see something, but look at the painting. They've done a painting there, but a painting is a painting of the house. It's sitting there, someone sat there and painted that. It is glorious. Absolutely glorious. And as you move through the different parts of Yorkney, now there is a very logical progression, and if you get lost or you don't know where you're meant to be going, just look at the little ball of light. The little ball of light will always lead you somewhere you need to go. So if it's hovering around, there he is over there, it's hovering around on that bridge. I think it's on a bridge because there is a plot point for me to discover. So if I get closer, it'll start leading me to where I need to be. So if at any point I'm trying to finish off a chapter and can't seem to find it, you follow the ball of light and it'll take you to where you need to go. I mean, look at that. It does look. I mean, I am British, as people watching this have probably surmised. I have lived in rural areas. I don't know Shropshire at all, but I mean, I'm a Devonshireman. That's where I was born. I live in Bedford, Bedfordshire now, which is a market town. There's lots of rural villages in Bedfordshire, and I grew up in a village in North Beds. My mum still lives there actually, which is, you know, it's picturesque like this. It's got these lovely little houses, it's got these side bits, and it is such an incredibly accurate representation of rural Britain. Not necessarily Britain, you can go over stars by the way, it's really cool. You know, not major towns and cities, but if you get out into the countryside and some of the smaller villages, now this is not far off what they are actually like, and it's just a beautiful game. One of the things we haven't heard particularly yet is the music though. You don't hear music. I'll listen to this and actually see whether we get some music afterwards. Let's just tune into this. We're right at the beginning of the game, so danger of spoiling anything for you. Here we go.
Don't be so hard on yourself. We've all had rejections.
You haven't.
Come on. We'll look at the figures, tighten up the data, and resubmit. Your core idea is sound. You just got the numbers slightly wrong.
Don't patronize me.
I'm not patronizing you. I think you are a brilliant man, Dr. Appleton. Listen. I'm here, right? We're together, you and me. The alignment event tomorrow. It's yours, okay? You saw the opportunity, you ran the numbers. Even if they can't see it, I'm proud of you.
Is that supposed to make me feel better?
Steven. Look on the bright side. Around here, you're a hero. Prodigal son returns, right? I'm surprised they haven't erected a statue in your honor yet.
Oh, you can laugh all you want. But I'll bet the parish council have a subcommittee working on that right now.
So the music is one of the, or the sound in general is one of the strongest elements of this game. Those little swelling bits of music, every so often it's choral, lovely choral, it's a nice male voice choir at one point. Always adds to the emotion, adds to the feeling of the game, and because it's used so sparingly, when it does come in, it has significant impact. It is, you know, orally this game is just amazing. Seriously, is quite incredible. I am going to wrap it up here though, because I just wanted to show you the early stages of the game. Firstly, so you can take in just how incredibly beautiful it is, almost photorealistic we're looking at here, to give you some idea of the mechanics, and also to give you some expectations of what the game actually is. It's not an action-packed game. You never move very much quicker. I'll put the sprint in inverted commas button down. You can see exactly how fast you might actually move at times. Here we go. This is about as fast as you move. So it's a game that requires you to take your time. It requires you to explore and understand and uncover. And what you uncover is a compelling story that doesn't always give you all of the answers, but is intriguing and unsettling and dramatic and sad, mundane, means all of those things, set in this beguilingly tranquil environment with this underlying feeling of paranoia and despair, which is unique and fascinating. So if you can take all of that kind of into consideration, I think it's a game that is worth investing your time in. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, like, favourite, subscribe, do all of those sociables. If you want to see a full gallery of this on my Facebook page, I've got an album on there which is loads of stills of this game to see just how beautiful it is. But thanks for watching, and as always, happy gaming, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye for now.